This week, my son Chris and I are in the scenic state of Maine chasing big eastern gobblers with my good friend Aaron Lane from Rugged Country Guide Service. We arrived in camp at 4 a.m. and Aaron wasted no time in getting us on a couple of gobblers that he'd spotted in a pasture the day before. The toms dropped just slightly over a rise in the field. Chris's excited cutting in combination with the fan was enough to trigger the bird's curiosity. But between the ducks and the deer, I guess it was just too much commotion, so we'd have to try a different approach. We encountered these three toms making their way across the small hay field, so we set up to cut them off. Closed captioning in today's episode is brought to you by Canuck. It wasn't looking good for a doubleheader with these two wary strutters hanging back out of range. Since Chris was first up to bat, I turned him loose on the closest gobbler. First morning, we were joined by Aaron's friend and fellow guide, Jesse Duncan. Well, I'm here with my son Chris in Maine. We're hunting with Aaron Lane at Rugged Country Guide Service. And 15 minutes into the hunt, Chris bags one. It's a beautiful bird, nice big tom. There was 3 of them, and they come in, but they were a little tentative. And when they started to pass, I said, like to the left, I said to Chris to take a whack at them. You give us the scoop.
Well,
here.
we wanted the double. There was 3 of them. We wanted the double, and that hen had a different idea. Eh? She wanted to bring them around to the left and out of range for you, and you said, let's go. So I got the one that we could get, right, and he's beauty. Yeah. About a 1-inch spur. He's a 2-year-old, 9-inch beard probably, and we got out of there pretty quick. It started to pour out pretty much as soon as he pulled the trigger, eh? And I'm trying to get you one now. So yeah, we'll get Aaron to hook us up.
Keep chasing him around. Aaron's gonna put me on a bird here now. Like Chris said, we almost got the double, but bird in the hand, as they say, pardon the pun, is better than 2 in the bush. So we may still get our chance, because you can take 2 birds each here in Maine, so we may still get a chance at a double. That would be really special to double up like that with my son Chris. But hey, any bird is a great bird. Stick with us for more fast turkey action right here on Line of Sight TV. This portion of today's episode is brought to you by Bergara. Our barrels make the difference. Later that afternoon, we found this gobbler weathering a spring rain in a field of corn stubble. When we called, he would close the distance, but in no particular hurry, that's for sure. This bird's progress was so painfully slow that we were beginning to come to the realization that he may never commit. Our calls were getting more desperate and more plaintive. As he left the field, we were formulating a plan for the next morning. This segment is brought to you by Excalibur Crossbows. Different for a reason. here we are. Beautiful tom turkey here in Maine with Aaron Lane. That was a heck of a hunt. You saw that happen, how that happened. That bird last night was way the heck out across the field. We were way over there in the other corner. We saw him. We figured he'd go to roost here. We tried to call him over. He'd come a little ways, but wouldn't commit. So we decided we'd come in here this morning here and got a set up on this bird first thing. And you saw the result. He flew down. I gave him a little sweet talk on that gobble stalker. Again, you know, there we go. It's a little bit damp out here. Tried a couple calls on a pot call. Wouldn't work right. So I went to the ceramic with the acrylic striker. Works perfect. You could pour a puddle right in the middle of it and it'll work perfect. So gave him a little bit of sweet talk on that and romanced him down off of his perch right into the field. As soon as he saw my my avians there, again, I go with that that breeder hen and with the quarter strut Jake. It's the most tentative, the most bashful of all the postures that a Jake could have. He was maybe a little bit wary of the half strut Jake even yesterday across the field, wouldn't come to it. He didn't want to, you know, these lone birds especially, you got to realize these birds have been getting their butt kicked every time they go near a hen for, you know, a couple months now. So he was on his own. He was on his own for a reason. The reason was that he'd probably been, like I say, being bullied a lot and couldn't breed, wasn't allowed to, you know, be around hens and stuff. So that's why I kind of went with the bashful approach. I didn't hammer them with a mouth call and all that stuff. Like some birds, that's the way to go, but this situation, that's not the way to go. So he came running in there. You saw the results. Like I said, he was totally duped. Come flying in there, and he was PO'd. So when he started kicking the beans out of my decoy, I let him. You know, I wanted to give you a little bit of a show. So we did that, and as soon as his head was clear of my new avian, I didn't want to blow the head off my avian, so I let him have it. We're going to get this guy packed up here in Maine. You get 2 turkeys, and Chris and I are really want to do a double if possible, but we're just looking to fill our tags, and we're heading home tomorrow, so we're going to get going here and get busy. Stick with us right here on Line of Sight. The turkeys are hitting the ground. Well, folks, be sure to tune in next week when Chris and I are back in Maine for more up-close turkey hunting action, including one old dinosaur you are not going to want to miss.